from the rolls. In other words, to figure all kinds of attempts to get a person off. So if a person worked part-time, they were reporting in. The whole idea was to catch them in fraud, or if they could not do that, was to eliminate the working person from the rolls. So that's being done in medical care, in voting, every aspect of the workers' rights. We'll see out in Hawaii, you'll hear from the organizations out there that are trying to get Monsanto, the outfit out of St. Louis that has the genetically modified foods. They use the island of Hawaii as a test site. Within 200 feet of working families and their schools, kids are being sick from it, and they want them to tell them what chemicals they're testing. And the reason they're there is that their test laboratory, they can test year-round, and they can actually bring the actual thing, say, to Iowa to sell to you through corn, soybeans, etc. And this is part of the problem out there, the genetically modified foods. Now, the opposition would cite, well, various tests and various agencies. Well, many of these agencies are literally occupied by the Monsanto cronies and flunkies. So we don't really have any legitimate research in these. So on International Workers' Day, we have to be cognizant of all these things. All these things are violence against working people, whether it be in the workplace, it be in the foods that working people have, in their communities, toxins, such operations as the Keystone Pipeline that runs through working areas, these petrochemical plants, and various toxic dumps that are located in working class areas. All these things come to light on this day, and there are demonstrations throughout the world and all across North America in city after city. The Occupy movement is reborn also on this day. They'll have local actions all over the country. And workers have to be involved in the international struggles for war and for peace, looking at Syria. There's a little piece that we have time on Democratic Republic of Korea, the border section there with the former USSR and with China. So these things are what is happening in the real world. This is Boston Red on May 1st, May 1st, 2013, May Day, and as the poet laureate of Newark, New Jersey would say, peace out. Happy May Day, everyone, from Beijing to Caracas to Athens. They're demonstrating there today, to London, to Times Square in New York, to Okima, Woody Guthrie's home, to Houston, Texas, Seattle, Washington, and points in between. Good day.
My name is Cathy Youngblood, and I am a housekeeper at the Hyatt in West Hollywood, California. Let me tell you, it is an absolute delight to be here in such a beautiful place. As I said, I'm a housekeeper. I sweat every day, just like many of my sister housekeepers here. But I am here today with my fellow hotel workers in Hawaii as part of a nationwide campaign calling on Hyatt to add a 13th member, a hotel worker, someone like me, to its board of directors. From the moment I stepped off the plane, I couldn't stop smiling. Being here is giving me such a great feeling. And I later learned that this is what is known as the Aloha Spirit. When I return home to California, I will be sure and tell my friends and families and coworkers about this and how I've been treated here. Hawaii's greatest advantage is not its physical infrastructure, but its people. As a hotel housekeeper, I know what it takes to keep the guests coming back. I am the one who interacts with the customers on a daily basis and attend to their every need, not the CEO of Hyatt. It is the hotel workers on the ground, the cooks, the housekeepers, the desk agents, the servers, the bellmen, who create the experience for the guests. And more than anywhere else, here in Hawaii, where this unique touch, the aloha spirit, it counts for something that's priceless and worth preserving. Now, the stories that we've heard this afternoon are compelling. And from my perspective as a visitor to Hawaii for the first time, let me tell you, it's quite alarming. Our perspective as workers should count for more than they currently do. Hawaii's #1 industry deserves it because we love and take pride in our work, don't we? We know how to run the hotels because we are in the hotels every day. And this is the case all across the country. Yet, not one member of the board of my company, Hyatt, has ever worked in a hotel. Not one. That's why today, along with other thousands of other Hyatt workers, we are calling on Hyatt to add a hotel worker to its board of directors. Oh, it's time. It's time. Through our hard work and dedication, I believe that we have earned a seat on the Hyatt board. We are also making this call because in Hyatt hotels across the country, the company is leading the industry in a race to the bottom. My housekeeping sisters in Phoenix, Indianapolis, San Antonio, and other places are cleaning up to 30 rooms. 30 rooms in an 8-hour shift. This is unacceptable. Here in Hawaii, Hyatt is looking to outsource and subcontract good jobs. Jobs that were once careers in which people could raise their families are now part-time, subcontracted, and temporary. What better way to correct this than to have a hotel worker at the very top giving voice to our concerns? Now, we have reached a point where it is not enough just to stand in solidarity with one another. We have to organize for real power. We have a right to have our needs and those of our community met, and to do that, we do need a seat at the table. That is what having someone like me on the board of directors is all about. But someone like me is not just adding a seat for a hotel worker on a corporate board. It is about taking a bold step to create the kind of communities we want. It is the idea that we as working people deserve to participate in the decision-making processes that affect our jobs, communities, and families. The challenges we've heard about today, the sounding of that tsunami warning that speaks to the need for real jobs, is real aloha, is systemic. It is happening here and all across America. Now, we may not have the aloha spirit where I'm from, but the owners of our hotels, the movers and shakers of Hawaii's tourism industry, are ignoring these warnings all over. And it's no wonder why. Whether here in LA, where I'm from, or where they really have no real sense of what it's like to make tourism work for us. They have no real sense of what it's like to work on the front lines of our hotels every day. And it is those working people on the front lines that you as elected officials should be concerned about and whom you have been elected to represent. Across the United States, and especially here in Hawaii, we have welcomed developers and hotel owners into our communities. But in return, we need our human rights, communities, and environments we want respected and certainly upheld.
That's right.
That's why I am calling on Hyatt to add someone like me or you to its board of directors. And that is why I urge you, when making decisions about the future,
the GMO debate in the United States. Rachel, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you. What stories are you following? That's a question we ask our online community every day via Facebook. So if you have a story that you think is worthy of a future episode, share it with us. Go to facebook.com/AJStream.
I think the change in knowledge in the streets in recent times has come from just the younger people getting involved and learning what's going on. And, there's a next generation of people that really care about the future of their children and the future of where they live. And, we got concerns. And, just having a younger generation standing up and getting active has brought a whole new side to the movement and has woken a lot of people up on what's going on in our state.
And your concerns are really in two major areas, over spraying the chemicals and over labeling. Kind of explain that to folks who may not be entirely familiar.
Well, for us in Hawaii, we are known as ground zero for chemical testing for the GMO companies. We've kind of become their lab. And, that's the issue. The biggest issue with us right now is what are they spraying? How much are they spraying? And, why are we having die-offs in our ocean and kids getting sick and people getting sick? We have a lot of questions involving the amount of chemicals they're spraying, what they're spraying, and we're not entitled to know any of that information. So that is our biggest concern here in Hawaii.
Alicia, I know that you don't represent any one of the biotech companies, but you are the executive director of their go-to trade organization in Hawaii. Why do you think there's a lack of disclosure, particularly when Hawaiians are demanding it and they're taking to the streets to do it? Why are the companies still holding back?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of disclosure, and in fact, it's a great opportunity to correct the misinformation and the fear-mongering already. The pesticides being used by the biotech companies are the same pesticides being used by farmers all across the world. They're not testing anything new here. There are no experimental pesticide activity going on. These are pesticides that a farmer would use to control insects or disease or virus or weeds. There's nothing experimental about it. What they're doing is they're growing crops that have been approved by the Food and Drug Administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They're growing out these crops in nurseries here in Hawaii because they can get 3 to 4 growing seasons here versus in the middle of Iowa in winter. So I'll correct that right now. There is no experimental pesticide activity going on here in Hawaii. But that being said, every single
come from, it's from the BT corn that's being grown and the cottonseed that's being grown widely in the Canada and the U.S., and it's from their diet. The fact is, just because the biotech industry says
supposed incidents being linked to consumer health.
Right, but my question is there room for investigation? Should these companies be trying to track this down and see if there is a connection?
Well, I mean, I think you just heard it. If one drop of water, it takes 25 years.
When and where, and the response I got was to not to worry, and that it's safe. I thought, okay, I don't know about that. I need to do my own research. So I continued to research online, and I found a list of chemicals that Monsanto manufactures. All those chemicals that were listed are very, very toxic and can cause detrimental harm to animal life, marine life, and human life. A lot of those chemicals are also banned in different countries in Europe. So it got me thinking, like, why are they continuing to spray these chemicals here on our island when it's banned elsewhere in the world?
Hey, Dave, is it your...
people were killed in an explosion in Damascus.
Syria has real friends in the region, and the world will not allow Syria to fall into the hands of America, Israel, or Salafist groups.
Well, Nasrallah's comments are seen as a tacit admission that Hezbollah fighters are already backing Assad's forces. Hud Abdul Hamid reports from Wadi Khalid in northern Lebanon.
They have become more frequent, funerals of Hezbollah fighters who died in Syria. This is the evidence that pushed the Lebanese Shia group in Wadi Khalid And the situation is completely the opposite. Many of